Good evening and many thanks for choosing KUTV to keep you informed once again. Tonight we have so much in store for you as our reporters have been up and about preparing all stories relevant to you. Let's get a short intro before we begin.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
That's right. On the sign language interpretation is Sami Okelo. Do engage with us on X at KUTV_Kenya and at Kemuma_Monari. We are streaming live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. Let's begin. Now, governors are demanding a review of the Social Health Authority and insurance laws, terming some clauses punitive and discriminatory to counties. The Council of Governors says provisions requiring counties to remit statutory deductions to the Social Health Authority by the 9th of every month is unrealistic given delayed exchanger disbursements from the National Treasury. The leaders now want the laws amended before their December 10th summit with the President. Of Governors is pushing for urgent amendments to the Social Health Authority Act, arguing that several clauses disadvantage counties. Among their concerns is the requirement for counties to remit staff deductions by the 9th of every month, despite Treasury delays in releasing funds. The governors say penalizing counties for late payments caused by delayed exchequer disbursements is unfair, calling for flexibility and equal accountability from the national government.
So we come up and draft amendments that are going to be something that is going to be very, very shaky. The issues that are there is delay in payment. So we have to make it very clear that the same way they're saying that by 7th, it is by 9th that there's a cutoff. Our proposal will be that within this period of time, the following 9th or the following 10th or the following 15th, they should have already paid to the facilities. It has to be very clear in law. What is the time frame for them to tell us that they've rejected us? And then after that, what is the time frame that a hospital can be able, or clinic, a hospital or whatever, can be able to appeal? And then even after that, they have to give, in the event that the appeal did not work, we need to, the law has to be able to allow for an appeals board.
The governors also want clarity on the rollout of the new ambulance service under the Social Health Insurance Plan, raising concerns that the proposed ride-hailing model could sideline county-managed ambulances.
If we're not careful, what will end up happening here is county ambulances will now be sent to departments of veterinary and agriculture.
Most of the patients will be patients from counties, and therefore when they control it from Nairobi and license it from Nairobi, it means you can find an ambulance that is worse than the ones we are calling matatus licensed, which will be too late for you and there's nothing you can do because you're not the ones who license them.
Additionally, the governors cited service delivery gaps in level 2 health facilities where expectant mothers are reportedly missing out on care despite government budget allocation. The governors say that such challenges threaten both maternal health and the success of the universal health coverage rollout.
And right now what is happening, because at those level of care we are not providing maternity services, we are basically going back to where we are. So skill delivery basically will drop. Mothers will not go to those facilities because they know where I used to deliver. If I don't deliver to the next facility that is near me, I rather deliver at home. So then that means skill delivery will basically reduce, and we have already reports on that. The gazetted benefit package also limits maternity services to SHIV, which cannot be used in level 2 facilities. As a result, these facilities have missed out on at least Kenya shilling 2.6 billion as reimbursement from delivery. These primary healthcare facilities are supposed to be getting 10,000 Kenya shillings for every delivery, unlike unlike NHIF where they used to get 2,500. So as a result of missing out, as a result of the directives, cumulatively these facilities can be able to miss out around 2.6 billion for only deliveries, because mothers now have to go to the higher level to deliver.
For example, excluding level 2 and 3 out of maternity is actually one of the worst thing which is actually doing.
The governors want the proposed legal changes completed before the 10th of December devolution summit, with the president insisting that health reforms must balance national oversight with county autonomy.
Evaluation on that.
Yvonne Kemuma, KUTV.
Now, the Africa Union Election Observer Mission has declared that the Tanzanian general elections did not meet the democratic principles as championed by the continental body. AU slammed the just concluded October 29th polls, citing non-compliance with democratic standards that triggered deadly protests in Tanzania.
The African Union has slammed the just concluded Tanzania general election, citing non-compliance with democratic standards that triggered deadly protests, destruction of properties, injuries and deaths. The AU team, led by former Botswana President Eric Mokgweetsi Masisi, in a statement stated that the 2025 Tanzanian general election did not comply with AU principles, normative frameworks and other international obligations and standards for democratic elections. The mission also witnessed incidents of ballot paper stuffing, voters being given more than one ballot paper, and even voters being given ballots without proper identification, with observers restricted from monitoring the vote count, compromising elections' integrity. The African Union report comes days after Samia Suluhu Hassan was declared the winner with 98% of the vote in an election marred by violent protests, deaths and rejected by the opposition as sham.
Samia Suluhu Hassan.
The African Union joins the long list of international election observers who have cast aspersion about the integrity of Tanzanian general elections after SADC Election Observers Mission and the European Union issued a scathing assessment of Tanzania's general election, concluding that most voters failed to freely express their democratic will. Auma Evans for KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, from Tanzanian elections, let's get back to the country, where as political alliances begin to take shape ahead of the coming general elections, a women's group known as Mama Kenya Movement from Mombasa has urged political leaders and their parties to ensure that women, especially those at the grassroots level, are fully included in decision-making and political discussions.
Tumeamka na tupeleke tena kiuzuzu. Maana wao wametukuta sisi ni maboga. Watupeleka wanavyotaka wao, hatupelekwi tena hivyo.
A women's group known as Mama Kenya Movement Party from Mombasa has called on political parties to involve women, especially at the grassroots, in leadership, coalition talks, and policy formulation ahead of the 2027 general election. The group's spokesperson Fatma Jumanne said women contributed significantly to the number of registered voters in the 2022 polls and therefore deserve greater participation in the country's political process.
Women constitute a significant proportion of Kenya's population and electorate, representing over 49% of represented voters in 2022 general election. Their participation is critical to the legitimacy, inclusivity, and effectiveness of governance. This movement emphasizes that women must not be sidelined, particularly those at the grassroots, who are key drivers of community development and social cohesion.
According to her, political parties should include women in the ongoing coalition building talks ahead of the 2027 election, a sentiment echoed by the movement's chairperson Amina Ridwani.
Inclusion of women in leadership and policy formulation ensures that governance reflects the realities, needs, and aspirations of the majority of Kenyans.
Tunaona coalitions ikianza, hatuoni sura za kina mama. Lengo letu na kisha kuna mabadiliko na nafasi ya mama inatambulika katika maendeleo.
Another member from the group, Mama Ambassa, expressed concern over the low turnout of women in the ongoing voter registration exercise, urging political leaders to work with citizens to encourage participation.
Tunaona uandikishaji wa kura pia umekuja, lakini sijaona hata kama kuna grupu nyingine kina mama wengine ambao wahamasisha watu kwenda kuchukua kura. Ukiangalia registration iko very low Mombasa kwetu, as if we don't have leaders, and we are having leaders whom we elected with our hands, with our card, but we don't see them coming up with the voice, kutulekeza where to go.
The Mama Kenya movement now aims to unite women nationwide, calling for their full inclusion in political and development processes ahead of the 2027 elections. Rose Kaguku, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET Embu branch has petitioned the government to convert junior secondary schools intern teachers into permanent and pensionable terms before the new school year begins. The union says the teachers have proven their competence and deserve job security. Embu Town KUPPET officials called on the government to end what they termed as labor exploitation, arguing that continued short-term contracts undermine education quality and teacher morale.
Power. That's one of the power.
Led by Executive Secretary Jacob Karura, the officials said it was unfair to keep renewing contracts for qualified teachers who have already proven their capability in implementing the competency-based curriculum.
We have about 20,000 teachers who are serving on intern basis. We demand that they be confirmed before hiring the next cohorts of the intern teachers. Our fear is they may not be confirmed at the right time. We are demanding that they be confirmed so that when we open on first term 2026, they will be made permanent and pensionable.
KUPPET official Miriam Wawira echoed the call, saying that the current stipend of 15,000 shillings to 20,000 shillings a month is too low and demoralizing given the teachers' workload.
Very many teachers that have been employed on internship. From the word go, we have been saying that that is misuse of labor. We have been saying that that is slavery. Kindly relook into that internship and confirm our intern teachers, because that is what we would wish. That is the wish of all Kenyans, that you confirm the internship teachers and they be confirmed before advertising for other opportunities. So
Embu-based junior secondary teacher Caroline Nyaga, on the other hand, noted that inadequate pay has left many demoralized and struggling to meet their basic needs, affecting their motivation and classroom performance.
Na tuko hapa kuhimiza serikali yetu iwaajiri walimu ambao wako katika kandarasi, ili walimu hao wapate kandarasi ya kudumu na wapate motisha katika kazi ambayo wamepewa na serikali ya kufanya, na walimu hawa waweze kuwezesha mtaala ambao tuko nao uweze kufaulu. Ukiangalia walimu hawa ambao wako katika kandarasi hii wanapata mshahara duni ambao hauwezi kukidhi mahitaji yao, na wanapoenda shuleni hawana motisha. Kwa hivyo tungeomba serikali itangaze msimamo wao.
The teachers' contracts are set to lapse at the end of the year in December, with KUPPET now urging the government to act swiftly and confirm the interns before the new school term begins to safeguard education quality and uphold fair labor practices.
Progressive insurance power.
Yvonne Kemuma, KUTV. Now, remaining on that bit, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migas Ogamba has clarified the government's position on high school boarding fees while launching the new TVET policy in Kiambu County. Ogamba said the public day secondary schools remain fully covered under government capitation and warned against unauthorized extra charges in a boarding school. He added that all boarding fees must follow approved guidelines and be transparently communicated. stated the CS reaffirmed the ministry will ensure affordable access to education as the country transitions to the skill-based economy. The new TVET policy aims at equipping youth with technical training, industry exposure, and entrepreneurship opportunities.
As you may already know, we provide free compulsory basic education in line with Article 53 of our Constitution. The current education reform process that is geared towards the competency-based education will not change this fact. The approved rates of capitation remain in place. That's 1,420 per learner per year in primary schools. Kenya shillings 15,042 per learner per year in junior schools, and Kenya shillings 22,244 per learner per year in senior school. May I take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to clarify that the government has not revised the boarding fees payable by learners at any level, including in senior schools.
Now, with that report, we will take our first commercial break here on KUTV News at 9, and then we'll be back with more reports on the other end. See you then.
Miti miti, panda panda, miti miti. Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote the prosecution.
I think that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What part? What Tanzanians?
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
And welcome back. On the sign language interpretation is Samuel Kelo. Do remember to engage with us on X at KUTV_Kenya and at Kemuma_Monari. Let's continue. Now on to other reports. Agriculture and Livestock Development Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has sounded the alarm over the growing threat of agricultural produce theft across the country. The CS says the trend is eating into farmers' earnings and threatening the country's food security. Speaking in Nyeri, Kagwe called for the reviewal of the Agricultural Police Unit to safeguard farmers and their produce. Theft of farm produce is emerging as a new headache for Kenyan farmers. From stolen coffee and macadamia to nighttime livestock raids, farmers are counting losses that threaten livelihoods and food security.
Watu wanagoja mkulima aende nyumbani, hata kuna wengine jameni wanaenda, they milk the cows at night.
Speaking during a meeting with farmers in Nyeri, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe said the audacity of these thefts is alarming, with some culprits destroying entire plantations.
We are not building cafes here, and we are not telling farmers that we want to improve, crop husbandry, for the benefit of a thief. We are doing it for the benefit of the farmer. And that is why at some point I had actually proposed the formation of a unit as agricultural police who can be able to participate and focus on the issue of ensuring that our farmers are also, the crops of our farmers are also protected.
Kagwe says the government is working with county security teams to protect farmers and their investments, including plans to introduce the Agricultural Police Unit to curb theft and vandalism.
We are also working with the county administration to ensure that security for farmers is given, because some of the ways that even the thieves are operating is beyond understanding. Now, when you get a macadamia tree or an avocado tree or a coffee tree, and instead of picking, at least if you are going to steal the berry, why are you cutting the tree? What are you going to steal tomorrow?
The CS also warned coffee farmers against engaging in coffee hawking, a practice he says is promoting theft and distorting the formal market.
And as you know, the prices of coffee, have gone way up, and we expect them to continue rising. So we are asking farmers to go back and make sure their coffee is taken care of.
Kagwe's call comes as the government intensifies efforts to boost food production and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, a goal now under threat from farm-level thefts. Yvonne, Kemuma, KUTV. Now, leaders and agricultural experts in Nyeri County are raising concern over the declining soil fertility in Mount Kenya region, warning that the trend threatens both food security and farmers' livelihoods. Speaking during the Agricultural Stakeholders Forum, former Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe emphasized the need for immediate intervention, citing shrinking farmlands and diminishing productivity. Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service Managing Director Mwenda Mutui echoed the sentiments, urging farmers to embrace soil testing, sustainable fertilization, and proper land management to restore soil health and improve crop yields across the highlands.
The size of farms, the size of land in Nyeri County and in the wider region are not growing. We are not increasing the sizes of land. We are reducing the sizes of land. What does that mean? That means that in order for us to increase productivity for our farmers, we must now produce more per unit, more food per acre, more coffee per tree than we have done in the past.
We are going to construct the regional office for Nyeri and the wider central region to be able to serve all the counties around. We are also going to establish the state-of-the-art laboratories for the purpose of providing the lab services I've mentioned. We are also going to establish demonstration farm where farmers will be invited to come and see what new methods of growing crops.
the Principal Secretary for Immigration and Citizen Services, Dr. Belio Kipsang, has warned Kenyans against making cash payments for the government services, terming it as fraudulent. Speaking in Narok, Dr. Kipsang said all payments must now be made through the e-Citizen platform as part of the government's digital transformation agenda. He cautioned citizens against falling prey to fraudsters posing as officials and warned the officers engaging in corruption will face disciplinary action. The PS also revealed that 27 million Kenyans have registered under SHA, with efforts underway to expand national registration through mobile units.
One of the reasons why we migrated our services to a digital system was exactly to avoid some of these consequential effects or people not remitting resources. And I don't understand why a Kenyan would go and pay money, yet we have said very clearly that all payments are done in a digital way through 22222. So anybody purporting to pay monies for any service that is offered by government now is being frauded. And I ask Kenyans not to fall into those traps, because there are no services where we go pay money in cash.
33 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for our second break. On the other side is the sports news, so see you on the other side.
Msimu mpya, uso mpya, nguvu mpya, bila shaka na ari mpya, lakini dhamira ni ile ile: kuboresha kilimo kwa maisha bora. Jiunge nami James Baraka na hudha wako mpya wa kipindi cha Boresha Kilimo, tunapochunguza mbinu za kisasa za kilimo, ukipenda teknolojia ibuka katika kilimo, maoni ya wataalamu na hadithi za mafanikio kutoka kila pembe ya taifa. Kutoka kwa wakulima wadogo hadi biashara za kilimo zilizostawi, tunakuvika maarifa na suluhisho kamili, si tu za kuongeza mazao yako, bali pia kuimarisha maisha yako. Kila Jumamosi saa 6:30 na Jumanne saa 4 asubuhi, usipitwe na baraka za Boresha Kilimo, nami James Baraka, hapa hapa KUTV.
Tunachimba hadi mizizi, kukuletea yanayojiri.
So mimi naomba tu serikali yetu ya Mungu, ibarikiwe na Mungu, iweze kuteremsha bei ya mafuta.
Yanayokukumba tuna maizi, tunakutetea sisiri. Kwa kweli ni speciali tukikupambia makala ya mwanamke mwake. Utasema hupendi mizizi ya habari. Nami Caroline.
The national women's football team Harambee Starlets head coach Beldine Odemba has been named the Sports Journalists Association Kenya SJAC Coach of the Month for October 2025. Beldine Odemba guided Harambee Starlets to the historic qualification of the 2026 Women Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON for the second time in history after their debut in 2016. The Harambee Starlets tactician floored a studded lineup that included Shujaa head coach Kevin Wambua, Kenya boxing tactician Musa Benjamin, Nicholas Muyoti of Nairobi United FC, among others, to bag SJAC award for the best coach of the month. Now, Kenya's national football team, Harambee Stars, is preparing to face Senegal in an international friendly match scheduled for 18th November in Turkey. The match is expected to serve as an important test for coach Benny McCarthy's side ahead of the resumption of the AFCON qualifiers. Harambee Stars is expected to showcase their strength against Senegal, one of the top football teams in Africa. Senegal, who currently top the FIFA African ranking, will be the first opponents for Harambee Stars since their last match against Ivory Coast last month. And it is a wrap, and as usual, it is a pleasure having you on this particular broadcast. Many thanks for making time to be with us tonight. My good name is Yvonne. Kemuma on the sign language interpretation was Samuel Kelo, and on behalf of the entire team behind this particular production, I wish you a good night and do enjoy the rest of your programming. Good night.
Mtazamaji popote ulipo unapokuwa